Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Thanks, everybody, for joining me here today on a brand new Motivation and Mindset Monday. I'm Dr. Stephen Cabral, board-certified doctor of naturopathy. One of the things that I love to be able to do is bring you one episode a week on the Cabral Concept that teaches about mindset. And the reason why this is so important is because when I was going through my naturopathic studies, it was important for me to understand each and every aspect of healing. This is why I did over 2,300 internship hours all around the world. You know, I went to India, I went to Sri Lanka, I went to China, I went to Europe, I studied all around the US, and I didn't do that to say, oh, I need to go here, I need to go here. What I wanted to do was figure out all the different forms of medicine. They were all teaching things slightly in their own unique way, but why were they working? Who were they working for? What do they have in common? I've always believed that if you understand and look at the overlap of things, that's where the secrets lie. So I started to look at how does Ayurvedic medicine relate to Chinese medicine? And I realized, oh, that's actually fairly simple. There's just different terminology used in terms of the 5 elements, or for Ayurvedic medicine in terms of the different forms of the doshas, parts of the doshas. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. It's just a different way of looking at it. The herbs are relatively simple. They're drying herbs. They're like, you can look at it all the same way. And I said, that makes sense because they shared, Ayurvedic medicine was first. It shared a lot of their discoveries along the Silk Road and all those different things with trade with China. And then we see other forms kind of popping up as well. Okay, well, when I looked at Hawaiian medicine and Native American medicine, all different types, I'm like, okay, they're using herbs in their own way with lifestyle, et cetera. But then I said, how does this relate to functional medicine or like modern day medicine? And I realized that, well, 50% of all medications are actually extracts from plants, okay? That's really interesting. So they understand how all these things work. But what was often missing was, why do people relapse? Not from drug addictions per se, but that can be part of it, but they relapse with irritable bowel symptoms or gut-based issues or headaches or migraines or weight gain or weight loss or like literally whatever it may be. Like, why do they relapse even when they get better? And what I realized was that it's not all about changing the body. It's also about changing the mind. And so I had to go back, and actually I did this then more in maybe like the 2000, like let's say 2009 range a little bit more. And I said, let's look at how psychology really affects physiology. I've learned so much physiologically, like in terms of my kinesiology, my physiology-based studies with all of the strength and conditioning, the personal training, like all those things I looked at. I said, okay, and I'm moving through my doctoral work, but it seems that there's something missing. And so that was the early days formulation of my de-stress protocol that you may have read about in the rain barrel effect. The diet, exercise, stress reduction, toxin removal, rest, emotional balance, scientifically backed supplementation, and a success mindset. So those 8 ways are how we help people heal. But if we look at that, stress reduction, emotional balance, and success mindset are 3 of the 8. And if we think about that, I mean, that's a lot. So now my modalities I was using before, which was basically diet, exercise, and in the beginning for sure, toxin removal and supplements. Okay, we've got those, great. But it was missing the elements. And even if you want to add sleep in there, about 50%. And that is how now, when we work with people, they say, I've tried everything. Okay, I understand. But have you done it by combining them together into an integrative practice? And, this was a little bit of a tangent here because people are suffering right now. And they're suffering because they don't know when the the suffering will end. I really believe that if you knew when you would heal from the dis-ease of the body, or from the trauma, or from the injury, from the physical pain or emotional pain, you'd be able to handle it. You really would. I believe that. If you knew, think about it this way. You've got, let's just say, let's say you have migraines. Migraines are debilitating, right? I've had many migraines in my life. Okay, so you get migraines. If you don't know what migraines are, they're essentially really bad headaches, but they can affect your vision. They can affect dizziness and equilibrium. They can make you nauseous. You can't do anything else really in life when you have a migraine. You need to lie down, typically in a dark room, and you need to work on that. And I've talked about migraines before and their pathophysiology, meaning how they come about, et cetera. So that's not going to be today's show. But what if you have debilitating migraines and you get 2 a week, which is awful, right? One of the worst part of migraines is you don't necessarily know when they're going to strike, and you don't know how long it will last, and this could be your life. It's pretty bad, right? That was like me when I had Addison's disease. Every day I woke up, brain fog, grogginess, fatigue. I was a walking zombie with flu-like symptoms. My joints hurt. My legs felt like they weighed 300 pounds each. It was awful, right? I didn't know if I was ever going to get better. High levels of anxiety, overwhelm, irritability, and depression in people who don't know when the suffering will end. Now, take me, take the person with migraines, take anybody, and you give them a day. Even if it's 3 months from now, listen, like, I know you're suffering right now. I know it's been years, but it's going to end in 3 months. You would have a totally different attitude, right? Like, think about the suffering you are going through right now in any area of your life. And again, it always go back to the big five, right? Health, body transformation, achieving the ideal body weight, your family and relationships. So maybe your relationships are not doing well right now. Your spirituality. And then you can look at your kind of career and passion and purpose and all those different things. And financial, like however you want to look at it. But whatever you feel like you're behind in, you're worried about that causes you anxiety or depression or suffering, whatever it might be. What if you knew that in a month, 3 months, even a year, you knew that all that was going to change? It would dramatically change how you looked at life. Dramatically. Because you knew that happier days were going to be here soon. One of the hardest things is that physical life doesn't change until we change. And we don't change until our attitudes change, the way that we view life. And that doesn't change until our thought process changes. So I've done a lot of Mindset and Motivation Mondays to try to get people to really begin to realize that they can be, do, or have anything that they want in this life as long as they do follow that be, do, get formula. But the problem is we're getting results right now based on what we are doing, and what we are doing is based on who we are being, who we are, how we think. And you might say, well, that's not fair because I don't want to have migraines. I didn't want to have Addison's disease either. I didn't want to have type 2 diabetes, myalgic encephalomyelitis, rheumatoid arthritis. Like, I didn't want to have all these things, insomnia, allergies. I didn't want any of those, right? But I was doing things unknowingly in my life that was perpetuating that. And I go in depth through the rain barrel effect, and the book is free literally now on my site, so I don't want to, promote that because I give everything away for free in the podcast. I teach this. But that's one synopsis of all of this, is that we've overflowed our rain barrel. For me, I'd taken 3 years of antibiotics straight for skin-based issues, okay? Cleaned up the skin, destroyed my gut, destroyed my immune system. It wasn't the only thing. I was over-exercising, I was over-studying, I was overdoing everything, right? And that was wearing down my body. I wasn't eating good food. I didn't know that I was doing those things incorrectly. A lot of times we don't. So here's the thing though. None of that, you can't get down on yourself because you don't actually know the plan in order to get well. Like whether it's relationship, again, career, whatever it is. So the goal is this. The plan is there. There's no doubt about that. Today's not about the plan. Today's about getting to the plan because the plan for sure is there for you. So what do we need to do? Well, we need to change how we get to that plan. We need to start to create what is called a compelling vision for our future. I share this line with my private clients over and over and over. And I say this, anyone can deal with a tough today if they have a vision for a compelling tomorrow. I want to share that with you one more time. Anyone can deal with a tough today if they have a vision for a compelling tomorrow. Compelling simply means something to look forward to, something brighter than today. And the reason why I read a tough today is because today is always today. Tomorrow never comes, right? It's always today. So when we look at that, all we have to do is deal with today. You need to get through today. Stop worrying about tomorrow. There's literally nothing you can do about tomorrow until it becomes today, except for begin to work a new plan. So how do we get to the new plan? Well, we have to have a compelling tomorrow, a compelling future. That means we have to literally believe that tomorrow can be different than today. One of the doctors that I studied was Emile Coué. And I've shared this mantra before, but if you do nothing else, I recommend reciting this mantra to yourself as many times as possible over as much of the day as possible. And it was this: every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. Every day, I'm getting better and better. And the Silva method actually took Emile Coué's mantra, because it's been proven to work, and they did this. Every day, I'm getting better and better and better. They added an extra better. That's okay. Either way, I think it works just fine. Now, why does this matter? Because you are not telling yourself exactly how you have to get better. It also does not say what you are getting better and from. You are just getting better. Relationship, finance, career, spirituality, body, health, whatever it might be. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. Let the subconscious go to work then on bringing you into your field of vision what you then need to do, right? So if every day in every way you're getting better and better and you're focused on tomorrow can be better than today, then you'll begin to look for the ways in which that can happen. You will also begin to become more self-aware with being more open and gentle and kind with yourself, saying this: is it possible that the foods I'm eating are not contributing to health today? Even though I believe the foods are healthy, maybe, like for the person with migraines, they're higher in histamines. Okay. Is there something else that could be going on inside of my body that I may not be feeling? Like I don't feel bloated right now. I don't have, digestive issues, but could there be bacterial overgrowth in my gut? Could there be candida overgrowth in my gut? Could there be parasites? Could there be H. pylori? Could there be something wrong with my digestive system leading to migraines, or inflammation then leading to migraines, right? Like that's the work that we have to do. But first we have to stay open to it. But the only way we become open to meeting the coach, the nutritionist, the doctor, the integrative health practitioner, whoever it might be for our health, is first believing that you can even achieve it, right? And then even after doing the work, which is how this whole show came about, you have to start to change then who you believe you are and how life can be different for you. If you always view yourself as the migraine sufferer, trust me, your subconscious and your body will find another way to make migraines possible, even after you've gotten better from eliminating the high histamine foods or there's a lot of different reasons for levels of migraines. Something else will come into your life, whether it's poor posture or whatever it might be that could lead to migraines. So what I'm sharing with you is this. You may have to start with the actions, which is the easiest way to start. But eventually, you need to disassociate as someone who is a sufferer in the first place. A sufferer of migraines, a sufferer of autoimmune, a sufferer of Addison's, a sufferer of poor relationships, a sufferer of weight gain, a sufferer of weight loss, any of those things. And my goal for you then is to say, Well, if I'm no longer going to associate with who I currently believe that I am, what am I going to associate with? Who am I going to believe that I am? Whoever you choose and want to believe you are. That's the simplest way of saying it. And you might say, well, I don't know how to be any of those other things. The amazing thing that we should be taught as children, but we are not taught, is that we can be, do, get, have anything that we want in this world. It takes effort, it takes work, but before you're willing to put in the effort and the work, you need to actually believe it's achievable. So, and I've shared this on many shows, so I'm going to link back to Mindset and Motivation Mondays. The first thing is this, is that you need to just say, if I could have anything, if I could be anything, not materialistic, like what would actually make you happy? You need to start to have these conversations. You need to start to think, to walk, to journal, that you can be quiet, you can have that quiet space, that you can actually say, what is it that I actually want? And then you're going to get the voice inside your head that says, you can't have that, you can't be that. Who do you think you are to have that or wish for that or think that you could possibly get that? That voice will come. That's natural for all of us. That's that voice that tries to keep us down and in our safe space that we know we can handle in life, right? Might not be happy, but we know we can handle it. We've been handling it already, right? Then after that, it's this. It's to begin to walk the path that someone would have to take who would get to enjoy those things that you want in the future. And it's to take small steps along the way that would start to build confidence little by little, that would then allow you to make larger leaps. And as you take the smaller steps and then the larger leaps, you ultimately realize you are that person who can achieve those goals. You've been now doing it for the past weeks or months or maybe even years, and look how far you've come. Once you see that, you're going to set even larger goals, even bigger goals, because you achieved what you previously thought wasn't possible. And now that you know through the specific system that you can achieve it, what else may be possible for you in life? So always remember, you can deal with the tough today if you have a vision for a compelling tomorrow. I wish for you, I hope for you, that you begin to create that vision for yourself. Thanks so much for tuning into today's Mindset and Motivation Monday on the Cabral Concept. I thank you, I appreciate you. Please always do feel free to share these shows with anyone you believe they could serve. Thanks so much for tuning into the show. And before you head off, just make sure you don't miss what's going on this week over at Equalife. And that is our official Start to Summer giveaway. And that is the free dairy and gluten support. We try to do it once a year for summer. It is one of the most popular products all year round, but especially for summer, at least here over in the United States and let's say most of Europe where a lot of our clients are. Because what you can do is you can actually help to mitigate, to decrease a lot of the effects of eating dairy and gluten and even beans and legumes by improving your overall digestion with the enzymes that help break these things down. So things like lactase and DPP4 and cellulase and a lot of the products that the body lacks in terms of digestive enzymes are what can cause the bloating, the gas, the inflammation, the distension, the loose stool. And by using a simple enzyme to help break down the gluten better, to help break down the dairy, the cheese, the ice cream, the whatever it might be, right? Milk-based products, or even beans and legumes. The gluten and dairy support is exactly what helps with that. So what I want to do is I want to share, again, I always have these bottles for barbecues. They're on my picnic table outside, all that. I want to share it with you as well. Get a free bottle this week on all qualifying orders. Head on over to StephenCabral.com/shop. That's StephenCabral.com/shop for all the details. Completely free on all qualifying orders. Ships all around the world. Take care, everybody. Have an amazing start to your summer.